Why Jurgen Klopp's 4-3-3 at Liverpool is so effective in attack. For cheap, good quality football jerseys, go over to www.jerseyfever.com where they have the new season's jerseys, available from just $25. A link will be left in the description, and if you use the coupon code ATLANTISFOOTBALL, you'll get 5% off. So in possession, Klopp's 4-3-3 shape becomes a 2-3-2-3 shape kind of in the build-up phase, moving to a 2-3-5 shape when in the opposition's half. This is because, like most teams in a 4-3-3 system, the fullbacks advance in line with the deep single pivot, which in Liverpool's case is usually Fabinho but is also Jordan Henderson when Fabinho is not available or playing at centre-back. In the build-up phase, the deepest midfielder can either drop into the back line as a centre-back split or wide of the centre-backs, or he can hold his position ahead depending on how the opposition decide to press. The fullbacks Robertson and Alexander-Arnold sit deep to offer passing options, as if they advance too early, the centre-backs' passing options are limited, as the opposition's front two look to cut off the passing lanes into Fabinho, and the wide central midfielders are often being man-to-man pressed by the opposition's central midfielders, cutting off the passing lanes into them. Also, by sitting deep, Robertson and Arnold are drawing the opposition's wide midfielders up the pitch, and thereby creating more space between the defensive and midfield lines of the opposition system. Ahead of this, Salah seems to stretch the pitch by holding a wider position, which Mane does to a lesser extent on the other side, as Firmino looks to drop deep from the forward line into the space in behind the opposition's midfield. Liverpool then look to utilise the positioning of the front three by having one of the centre-backs, preferably Van Dijk if he's playing, play a long diagonal pass out to Salah on the right flank, looking to get him in a one-on-one against the opposition's left-back in the channel. The long direct crossfield pass is something that Klopp's side use quite a lot, as we also see the fullback switch and play from deep positions. If the opposition are horizontally compact and the ball is saved with Alexander-Arnold on the right flank, then he will look to play a crossfield pass out to Robertson on the other side in space, which then allows Liverpool to advance a play forward. Robertson, and in particular Alexander-Arnold, are perfectly suited to doing this because of their exceptional long passing ability. If the opposition are committing men forward to the press and pushing their wide midfielders up onto Liverpool's fullbacks, as sides like Manchester City and Leeds like to do, then Klopp's sides will use a specific piece of movement to progress the play. Alexander-Arnold and Robertson will push forward down the flank, pushing the wide midfielders backwards, and in doing so will create space for the wide central midfielders, Henderson and Wijnaldum usually, to drop into. In most cases, the opposition central midfielders will be hesitant to vacate their central positions, and therefore won't follow the Liverpool central midfielders into this position, which then opens up a passing lane for the centre-backs. This is where we start to see Liverpool move to a 2-3-5 attacking shape. When Liverpool have progressed the play into the middle third, we see the fullbacks begin to play more like wingers, advancing up the pitch. Unlike a Pep Guardiola midfield three, where we see one, if not both of the central midfielders in front of the pivot push up into the half space, Klopp's central midfielders tend to sit deeper in these areas, allowing the fullbacks to push up the field. However, we do see different patterns of movements in the channels. See here, the ball gets shifted out to Liverpool's right side, and Henderson makes a movement ahead of the opposition's midfield into the half space to firstly open up a passing lane forward, and also drag the opposition's midfield backwards and open up space between the opposition's midfield and attacking lines. We also see Henderson can drop deep, allowing Alexander-Arnold to push forward down the line, from where Mo Salah can then move infield into the half space, so there are a variety of interchangeable movements between the Liverpool fullback, wide central midfielder and wide forward on both sides, which aim to give the player on the ball in a deep position more space and look to open up passing lanes into a player between the lines. Firmino also plays as a false 9, dropping deep, which means that if the opposition midfield push up the pitch to apply pressure, he has a massive amount of space to move into. He is given freedom to move wherever the space is, so at times it can look like he's playing more as an attacking midfielder than a centre forward, which does put the opposition centre backs in a dilemma of whether to follow him and risk creating a gap in their back line for Mane or Salah to make a run into, or hold their position and risk Firmino being able to receive the ball in the space before turning and running at their back line. In the final third, we often see Alexander-Arnold and Robertson holding their positions between the midfield and defensive lines so that they can receive the ball and whip in a deep cross, and this space is also often created because the wide central midfielders do not sit in deep positions like regular central midfielders. They look to make runs forward ahead of play to drag the midfielders away from Robertson and Alexander-Arnold to give them more space to whip in their crosses. Liverpool are so effective in the final third because both fullbacks are world-class crossers from deep positions and were making runs down the byline. Firmino, Mane and Salah's movement in and around the box is exceptional, and in Salah and Mane, Liverpool have two of the best wide forwards in the world, both able to create chances out of nothing and having top-level shooting abilities in those positions to finish those chances. This can be seen as Liverpool massively overperform their expected goals rate. This season they have an XG of 29.01 but have scored 36 goals, nearly a 7-goal overperformance, and last season they recorded an XG of 75.19 while scoring 85 goals, an overperformance of nearly 10 goals, showing just how clinical Liverpool are in front of goal, with Mane and Salah being their main contributors. So overall, it's the intelligent movement of the wide central midfielders, the fullbacks and wide forwards, which is designed to create space for each other and then open up passing lanes for players in deeper positions to then move the ball forward. The individual abilities of these players makes them specialists at doing this, and because Klopp's side have been playing this way with these attacking patterns for the last few seasons continuously, it's almost second nature now, and why Liverpool are so effective at getting the ball into the final third, and the quality of Salah, Mane, Robertson and Alexander-Arnold in particular, which allow Klopp's side to create and then put away so many chances. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that video, remember to subscribe to the channel, give the video a like and give me some video suggestions in the comments section below. Also download the Flick app and join my group chat so you can join in the football discussion as well.